It's okay.
Technical difficulties.
You're messing with you.
It's all right. Let me properly introduce you. All right.
You know what? Let's hurry up and talk before we get frozen again.
Right, right. Okay. Dawn Robinson, founder member of the group En Vogue, one of the world's best-selling groups. So how are you doing, Dawn, with everything that's going on?
I'm good. That's what I was saying. We are survivors. We survive shit. Our ancestors been through way worse than COVID. Are you kidding me? So I don't look at it like it's a thing. I'm like, oh my God. Yeah, well, you protect yourself as much as possible and do
Hmm.
things that the government is not telling you to do, like protect your immune system and get garlic and alkaline your body and eat healthier so that you can avoid that crap that's out there. Um, just common sense. Like to me, it just makes sense to do those things, you know?
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
I
What do
don't
you
know.
think?
I have a
Yeah.
couple family members that are sick right now.
Hmm.
One is older. She's just sick. Just because she's older and she's going through some stuff. And
Hmm.
we can't visit them. I'm like, so if masks work, then why can't we visit our loved ones in the hospital? There's so many people that have died without anybody around them because nobody,
Hmm.
COVID. Are you fucking kidding me?
True.
You can go in a restaurant and wear your mask, and then when your food comes, you can take your mask off to eat.
Exactly.
Where's COVID at that point? Where does it go? If you have COVID before you eat, you have COVID when you're eating. I don't understand. So stuff
Uh,
like that is a pandemic. I don't buy crap.
exactly.
Yeah.
So, yeah, man. So what do you think about the vaccine and everything? No? You're not
Bullshit.
for
Mm.
Oh man, you're not with it, huh?
I am so not with it. Oh no, no. And
Mm,
Mr. Hank Aaron, bless his heart, he was trying to show us that you could trust the government. You can trust him, and bless him. Like he's one of our own. He's one of the greatest that ever did it as far as baseball is concerned.
hmm.
And he had to die with that crap. Like he was fine before that. Let him die of old age and in his time. But to get a COVID shot and all of a sudden he's dead. Oh, it wasn't because of COVID that he. Yes, it was. Yes, it was. So I
Exactly.
think about that because, like I said, he's one of our own. We don't
Right,
have,
right,
one of the greatest that ever played baseball.
right.
Sickens
So,
me. It makes me upset.
right. Yeah, it really
I don't
does.
know. See, and they're like, well, you can trust the government now. No, we can't. Government has always been government, and telling us that black people should go first.
Hmm. It's crazy. I'm not a guinea pig, you know what I'm saying?
Not even close. Not at all. We're not even trying that mess. No, you've been doing that shit
Exactly.
to us forever. And
Exactly.
our ancestors weren't educated enough to know better, and they didn't stand against the government. If the government says to do something, they just obey, obey, obey.
Right.
And, as good as our great grandparents were, and some of them are still alive, great grandparents that are alive, obeying. Sometimes you got to buck the system, and you
True.
say, hell no. I'll take. So this is what I hate. When our ancestors were over in Africa before they fucked with us and took us from our own country, they would go
Hmm.
in the garden. If you had a cold or you had the flu, most likely you wouldn't even get the flu because they were so healthy.
Right.
And they
Hmm.
would grab some roots and berries and make some concoctions and make some stuff and some teas, and you would drink that stuff and be right as rain within hours, if not the next day. You know?
Exactly.
So I just
Exactly.
pissed off that they're telling us to do this shit and people just running because the government said to do it. Government, it's like, no, government doesn't care for us.
Exactly.
They're trying to annihilate us. Yeah, we are the
Exactly.
chosen people. So
Exactly.
protective of our people.
I feel you, Dawn.
Yes.
So I'm gonna just start off like this. Let's talk about your childhood and when did you where you from, first of all?
I'm from New London, Connecticut. I was born and raised in New London, Connecticut till I was about 14.
Okay.
My dad, my real father, moved to LA from New York, and we were 2 hours away from him in New York and Connecticut.
Okay.
Moved to California and Los Angeles. My mom was like, well, I don't. She was telling him, I remember the call, like they talked a lot. I don't want the kids to be so far from you, and you moved out there without us, and blah, blah, blah. I'm not trying to be in your business, but I do want the kids, the girls to be, my sister and I, to be close to you.
Hmm.
And we missed him. So my mom sent me out first to see if I liked it. I visited my dad in LA, and then I went to
Hmm.
Oakland to stay with my cousins, and I got into Oakland High. Uh,
Okay.
so for about half a year, I stayed for about 5 6 months, 6 months. And I told my mom I loved it, and she's like, okay, we'll move out there. So
Okay.
because of me liking the Bay Area, she's like, let's move to Oakland. So we did. And
Okay.
yeah, that was a huge step for us because
Yeah. How is that different from CT, from Connecticut?
Connecticut.
It must have been a big change, right?
Connecticut was, it's a small town. You know, Connecticut is huge,
Yeah,
but
it
our
is.
town, London, was a naval town. So a lot of people landed there because of the military. And um, my mom and dad met. My dad was in the military. He was working on the ships. He was a welder. So they would
Mm-hmm.
have all the ships for Vietnam and all this stuff come into port in New London, and then
Mm-hmm.
do his welding job, and you know everybody. And then the ships would go out. He never went out to war, but he was in the Navy. So he's a Navy man. And my mom,
Can you hear me? Okay.
and so New London was a small town, and literally, if I was across town and one of my mom's friends saw me, she'd be like, or they'd be like, does your mom know you're over here? It was that kind of little small town. Like everybody knew
Right.
everybody. And it took a village. And I loved that part because it was a small town. New
Mm-hmm.
York was much bigger and it was only 2 hours away, but my mom didn't want to move there because it was a little too fast. She's a
Right.
city girl, but she didn't want us going to school. My cousin, I went to school with him one time because his school was out, my school was out first. And I had 3 more days.
Mm-hmm.
He had 3 more days of school. So we went and visited my dad in New York and went to school with my cousin, Marky. And I was like,
Mm-hmm.
Mom, they first of all had a metal detector when you walked in the door.
Oh,
And this
wow.
was like, yeah, you talking about 76 or whatever the heck. It was crazy. I was like, Ma, I do not
Mm.
want to move to New York if I got to go to school like that. So she was a
Yeah,
little too
crazy.
afraid of New York itself to raise us
Mm-hmm.
in. But she felt like the Bay Area would be, it's a city, but we also had family there. So she just felt like, okay, if we're going to move, she wanted me to be successful as well. And she knew that there were opportunities in California that may not be there in New York.
Okay, okay.
So
So,
it was a
okay,
good move.
that's cool. So when did you first realize you had a gift of singing?
My dad realized that. I was 2 years old. He kind of found that I had something because I was just too young to know if there was really anything there. But he's like, she is harmonizing on songs with me in French. Like the Beatles had a song called "Me Show My Bell," and he heard me singing that in
Mm-hmm.
the car and ran in the house with me and telling my mom she can sing, she can sing. My mom was like, Johnny, and she put her hands on her hips. He said, she looked at him like, she can't even talk yet. Like we're teaching her how to talk, telling me that she's singing in French. Like, come on. And then he put it on in the house and played the song in the living room, and she was like, wow. So they
Wow.
both knew that I had something,
Mm-hmm.
but I had, of course, to develop it, and that took some time.
Okay. So
Yes. Say
how was
about
the
9 years old, I joined the church, but I was singing with like Minnie Riperton and Denise Williams and Shaka Khan and
oh
yeah, and what's her name? Karen Carpenter, the Carpenters, I should say, because they had amazing harmonies. And then my dad would play a lot of rock and roll, like Led Zeppelin and
okay.
Crosby, Stills and Nash. I learned harmonies with them because even though they were men, they just had
Mm-hmm.
incredible 3-part harmonies. Like they were insane. They're incredible. I would sing with them today. That's how good their harmonies are.
Okay, okay. How was the journey like, being a part of one of the most iconic group like En Vogue? Tell me about that journey
I
a
still
little
can't.
bit.
I pinch myself. I really do, Kevin. That is like, what the hell? You know, the little girl that I just told you about, growing up
Hmm.
with all those people that I would sing with, I wanted to be a star.
Hmm.
And so here I am getting in a girl group. Well, you know, doing the audition and all that stuff. I didn't think that from the audition, our group would be as successful as it was.
Oh, okay.
We hoped it would be, but it was like, nah, no way. How, okay, how are we going to do, like, how is that going to happen? I think it became more real or more likely to happen when we signed the deal. But at the audition, we were just thinking, okay, we're singing together and we're in a group and that's cool. But
Right.
it wasn't until we actually signed the contract, I was like, okay, this is for real. This is for real. Now, there were a bunch of other girl groups that were on the rise. So we kept hearing, as we were recording the album, we were like, oh, there's another girl group that they're putting together. You've just heard word. We didn't know the names of them, but we just knew other labels, other major labels were doing other
Hmm.
girl groups. So I kind of felt like, okay, well, it's anybody's game. Like we may succeed or they may succeed and we may be successful. I don't know. And
Okay.
we did, like, Hold On just took off like wildfire.
Oh,
Everybody and their mama was playing it on the radio. It
yeah,
was
it
huge
was.
around the world.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, definitely,
So
definitely.
being a
So,
part of that group was still, to me, it's surreal. You know, it was like,
mm,
what? Okay, Father, thank you, God, for putting me to allowing me to be a part of something so iconic. You
hmm
know, the value that we hold to the world and to fans all over the world is just, it's still there.
right.
It blows me away. It really
Yeah,
does.
man. I remember like back then, like y'all were all over the radio.
Everywhere.
I went to the Virgin Islands. They were playing "Never Gonna Get It." They were, I mean, y'all were everywhere.
Oh,
I'm serious.
wow.
Yeah, man. Like
That's cool.
y'all
We were
was on. I
the
see y'all
Virgin
did the,
Islands. I'm
huh?
sorry. Go ahead.
No, I said I remember even turning on the TV and I saw y'all on hanging with Mr. Cooper doing the theme
Yes.
song.
Yeah, singing the theme song.
Yeah,
Cooper.
that was that was.
Yeah, so it's still like, I don't know. I still have to remind myself that I was a part of something like this. Like, it's just,
Mm,
it's been so long too. So since I've had any success like that, so
mm,
Lucy Pearl was the last thing that we did.
okay.
No, I've released songs after that, but Lucy Pearl was the next big thing that I
Right,
did.
right, right. Were you nervous doing that audition in Vogue?
What? En Vogue? Oh God,
Yeah, in Vogue.
forget about it. Oh my, Kevin. I wanted to leave all day long. I was begging my sister to take me home. Are you
Are you
kidding me? It was,
serious?
oh, you got to understand, like, Cindy was probably the only one who had auditioned for anything.
Hmm
Um, Maxine was in plays in the Bay Area, but I don't think she had to audition for them.
hmm
She was just in because she knew people and kind of got in. But this is a big deal. This is like my dream come true. So yeah, I don't care how old I get, going on stage in front of an audience, even now, even after all these years of being known and having success, you still get nervous. You better get nervous because
I
that's
get
the
it.
part of you that that's that fire. That's that energy that you need. You know, if you just get like, oh, okay, just tell me what time showtime is and I'll be out there. If you get complacent like that, then you might
Hmm
as well quit the business
Right.
because you're no longer excited about it. You're no longer loving what you do. So
hmm
I always want to be nervous. That part of it lets me know I'm still alive. I still got a little energy in here. And
True, true.
yeah, you want to put on your best show because everybody's watching you.
Hmm
You would not be used to that by now, but when you walk out, it's like a sea of faces. Like, hi everybody, how are you?
Oh man,
Just doing
stage
from
fright.
En Vogue. It's like that, and that'll never get old for me. I want that to always be there. You know, that's a good energy to have. Like, you're just ready. You know, revved
Okay,
up, ready to go.
okay, okay.
Mm.
I always wanted to ask, how did that Salt and Pepper collaboration come about?
Oh, good question. I really don't even know. Let me see. So Herbie Lovebug was their manager, their producer at the time.
Hmm
I want to say that came through the label. They contacted our label. If,
hmm
if something else comes to me later, then I'll say, "Hey, Kevin, no, this is it." But I think their label contacted our label to do a collaboration, and that's kind of how it happened. So they said they had the song and called "What a Man."
hmm
Yeah, hold on. Let me sneeze. Yeah, so they had a song called "What a Man" that they wanted us to do, and they sent us this what they call the stems to the song.
hmm
It was just kind of like a stem means that it's just an outline of a song. So it's kind
Okay.
of has the basics, but not everything was in there yet. Of course, the background weren't there because we hadn't sung them. So, um,
hmm hmm
the guitar was in there, I think. And
Okay.
bass line, yeah. And that was, yeah. So from there, we did our thing. We came in the studio and sang our parts. And um, there was
Now,
another girl that Herbie Lovebug, his girlfriend, actually sang some of the parts on there too. But he's a man. No, that's not. That's Terry. Get sad again. I think she sang that part. Sad
okay.
again, yo. Yeah, I had parts. Terry had parts, and then that girl. I don't think Cindy really had parts, and neither did Maxine.
Mm.
Ooh. Like we just did the ooh, ooh, ooh. We just harmonized that. And that was
Yeah.
pretty much it. Yeah. So,
Y'all look like y'all had fun in that video too,
oh, we had
man.
a blast. We
Was
really did.
Tupac in that video?
He was in the video, but he didn't want to show his face. So,
Oh, okay, okay.
exactly.
I
So that whole
remember.
scene, that scene with him and Saul, Cheryl,
Mm.
um, he has his back to her. I'm sorry, he
Right.
has his back to the camera, and you could see her face, but his back. So it had full Thug Life or whatever's on his back, whatever that big tattoo is that he
Yeah,
had.
yeah. All these
Yeah,
guys
you
put
couldn't
judges
really
up.
see him too well. Yeah,
Oh, okay, okay.
he didn't want to show his face for some reason. I think he was going through a lawsuit or he was dealing with that stuff, and people were after him. So it's kind of mysterious what happened with that. But yeah, he was in there. And of course, what's his name from Tretch from Naughty by
So
Nature?
yeah, yeah, he was
Exactly.
definitely in there. Yeah, sure.
Yeah. So they did those parts before or after we did our parts with them in New York. Um, and so we never got to meet. I met Tretch later on, like later,
Okay.
backstage somewhere during a I want to say an award show or something like that. But yeah, we hadn't met them on set, so it was just the dance part is all the part that we had with the girls.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And you sang on the vocals on Firm Biz, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Love
Yes.
that. Love that
Exactly.
song too,
Uh
man.
huh. Exactly.
That's my joint. That's my joint.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mine too. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
I
I
wish
love
that
it.
was a bigger deal. I wish that was like,
Right.
because I forget about it, and it's kind of like people remind me. I'm like, oh my god, yeah, I did do that. That was fun. Um, there was a lot going on during that time. So, what's his name? The director of the video.
Who was the director?
Oh,
I
some X.
Little X? No,
No, not
who
Little
was
X.
it?
I
No, it
think Little
wasn't.
X is the rapper, isn't he? Like a
No,
rapper.
no, no, no. He's a video director
He's
too.
a video director.
Yeah, but I forgot. I forgot. Yeah.
Something X. Yeah, he
Oh, okay.
got in my face because he wanted me to wear green. And at
Mm.
that time, first of all, I'm coming from En Vogue. I know fashion, so you're not
Right.
gonna tell me what to wear,
Hmm.
sir. I do videos all the time and blah blah. I'm like, okay, and so the hell do I. And I was just first I was smiling at him like, okay, you're not serious. Like you're getting in my like
Mm.
this in my face. Like you are gonna wear green. No, I am not. It was like,
Right.
oh, he was spitting on me and everything. I was like, whoa, okay.
Wow.
First of all, halitosis, like get back up.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, he was really nasty.
Yeah.
And then I left. I went home. That was in LA that we had part of it. So the part with me on the pole
Mm.
was the part that we did in LA. And then we went to New York to do the parts with me on the steps with the dancers and all that.
Okay.
Because I was like, I told Jimmy Iovine, I'm not going to be sitting here yelled at and talked to crazy by anybody. He's not my fucking father. I will call the popo. Everybody will be down here. It'll be TMZ.
Wow.
Yeah,
Mm-mm.
because he was that close. Like he wanted to whoop my ass that day. I'm not
Are
gonna.
you serious?
I'm not
Wow.
gonna fight anybody. Like no,
I
let
feel you.
alone a man. Yeah, he was nasty. And then
Mm-mm.
when we were in New York doing those scenes, that was the day Princess Diana died. So it was
Oh
really
man.
sad. Yeah,
Wow.
it was kind of like quiet on the set.
That was
Nobody.
like 1997, right?
Yes.
97, yeah.
Yeah,
Man.
I had just left In Vogue.
Okay.
Yeah, so that was
Yeah.
a hard day. It was very,
Okay.
very hard. That whole
What,
shoot.
right. What was some of your highlights about being in Vogue? What was your favorite memorable moments of being in Vogue?
Oh my gosh, there's so many. You're talking about at least, I was in the group for 8 years before I left
Hmm.
and then came back off and on over the years. So one of the most memorable memories, there's so many, like hearing our song on the radio for the first time, definitely
Hmm.
the highlights. Uh, and then telling us that so we had done a promo tour at first,
Hmm.
just an introduction to the world. So we're doing our little club nights, club dates and stuff. And uh,
Hmm.
we're going around the country. And then we came back and they were like, well, we need you guys, we want you guys to do a tour overseas. We were like, that's a milestone. That was huge. Like, oh, we were screaming because now we're going overseas. We're going to get people to know us over in London. And
Wow.
Germany, yeah, huge.
Amazing. Mm.
But we were still doing clubs. So when we
Mm.
came back from doing all that, our
Mm.
manager said, I got some great news for y'all. First of all, our song was #1 on the charts because we had done the promo. The promo tour is just, like I said, an introduction to the world. And so we had done the work and performed the song, the single, Hold On, long enough for people to be like, okay, now we love your stuff enough to buy it. And when we came home, it was #1 on the charts. So we were on Billboard and we were #1. And what? And now MC Hammer wants us to go on tour with him?
Oh, wow. That's
Yeah,
crazy. That was big. MC Hammer was huge back then.
exactly. He was huge. He was.
Hmm.
So,
He definitely
wow.
is.
Get it started. Like, let's go. And so, yeah, that was mess. So now we come back overseas, over to
Hmm.
London, and we're doing Wembley Stadium. We were just here and we did Hammersmith Odeon is probably the biggest club. It was back then. I don't know what's there now, but it's a huge club. And I want to say maybe 2,000 people, 1,100,
Hmm.
1,500 to 2,000 people in there. And that was huge. We were like, we came up out of the ground. You know, they had
Hmm.
a round stage and we were like, oh my God. But we only had one single. So
Wow.
I think we did that twice that night. Lots of times we would do it twice. Because we had nothing else to do that people would know. So we're like, okay, we'll do it again. We didn't have any files for any other songs anyway, so we'll do
Hmm.
our single again. And they were like, yes, hold on to your love. But I mean, that. So,
Man, that was my childhood. I love
but
that
now,
song.
thank you so much. Yes.
I love that
So
song.
now it's like MC Hammer wants us to go on tour. So we had to rehearse, and,
Hmm.
and we didn't have enough money budget wise to get a stage built. You know, and get a set built behind us and have this whole elaborate setup. But MC Hammer was so kind to us. He was so generous. Like he said, well, you guys don't have an engineer for the stage for your show.
Hmm.
An engineer just does your sound. So he'll make sure your microphone's right. He'll set them up, first of all. He'll tweak them. And they like, he'll hold the microphone and do like this in front of all of the, what do you call them? Oh my God, it's escaping me. What's the word, Adam? Monitors. So if your
Monitors,
monitor
okay.
has feedback, he'll do this in front of the monitor, and if it feeds back,
Hmm.
he fixes it for you before you get
Right.
out that on stage in your show. So we didn't have anybody. We couldn't afford
Wow.
it. So MC Hammer was like, well, you guys can use my engineer, and here's some extra microphone, because our microphones were terrible. He's like, well, you can use two. I only have like a couple of mics, but you can use them. I mean, he was so gracious to us, so kind. And he showed us what camaraderie between artists is. You know, if you're going to go out with someone for your first time, you want somebody like MC Hammer, because he wasn't jealous. He wasn't selfish. He was very like generous. Whatever y'all need, just ask. You know?
Hmm.
So, and we were on stage like, because we were bumping into each other like, oh my God, I'm supposed to be
Oh,
over here.
wow.
Because now we go from little tiny stages where
Hmm.
we're all four on top of each other. And, you know, when we move, but we know how to move with each other because we only have this little stage, and we learned how to walk around and how to dance around each other. Now we
Right.
have a vast, gigantic Coliseum stage. We don't
Mm.
have a band. We don't have dancers. It's just us four. What the hell are we gonna do? You know what I mean? So, yeah. When I
No
tell
band and
you,
no dancers?
no dancers. No, this is our first tour.
Oh, my
The record
God.
company doesn't put a lot of money into you at first because they want to see if their investment pays off.
Okay.
So they didn't give us a big budget. We didn't have a lot of clothes. Our wardrobe was mostly stuff from our videos.
Mm.
So we had the Lies jackets with the stripes,
Hmm.
black and white stripes. We had those. We had, oh my God, I remember because I have pictures of all of it. We have what they call an anvil case. And the anvil cases are, you can get them
Hmm.
custom made for whatever you need.
Okay.
We had one anvil case. MC Hammer had probably about, oh my gosh, 50. I swear to you, because
50. Wow.
he had 118 dancers. So their anvil case,
118?
oh yeah, no, he wasn't
Wow.
playing. Let's get it started. It was like a party on stage. I mean, it was like everybody was dancing. Everybody, because he was the best one, and everybody on stage, he would always say, "I want my band to compete with me. I want my dancers to be as good, and if not better than me."
Right.
So, and he would keep up with all of them, and they'd have to keep up with him MC Hammer had it. Oh my God, that boy can dance.
Right, right. Let
So
me.
yeah, had 118. I'm sorry, about 50 ammo cases with all
That's
their
crazy.
wardrobe. And then we had one, and our anvil case had, yeah, like the never gonna the silver jackets from You Don't Have to Worry,
Hmm.
the black dresses from Hold On. Like, we
Hold
didn't
on.
have much. Yeah, I mean,
Mm-mm-mm.
the record company wants to see, like I said, if their investment is going to pay off, and they're not going to give you a lot of money up front. So we were on our own, and that's why I say MC Hammer was so kind.
Mm-mm.
Say whatever y'all need. I can't do much, like,
Mm-mm.
but we had to learn on our own. That was
Okay.
the ropes of
Right.
the
How,
road.
how how did y'all feel? I know y'all often get compared to like the '90s version of the Supremes. Is that a
Yeah,
comp? I know.
that was a huge compliment, because you're talking about. I think the reason that they do that, it's almost like, and I hate it, but it's almost like Sister Sledge,
Mm-hmm.
Emotion, the Pointer Sisters. All these incredible groups are not acknowledged when they do
True.
like a top 50 girl group of all time type show. They'll say, En Vogue, and I'm sorry, Supremes and En Vogue, and everybody in between. It's like, wait a minute, how are you gonna leave those groups out? I mean, they get to them eventually, but we're up there with them, and it's kind
Right.
of amazing to me. It's just really, I don't take that for granted. That's a real huge compliment. And it's also probably because when we first came out, we all dressed alike. Sister Sledge, I think, had their own look. The
Definitely
girls,
did.
yeah, when you see Greatest Dancer, they all had
Mm-hmm.
same color ideas, but they did not. Kathy would have on her own thing. Kim would have her own thing. It's like
Mm-hmm.
they all had their own look. But the same color scheme would tie in together,
Okay.
and the same material, just in different colors, and
Okay.
sizes, shapes, and cuts,
Okay.
cut different. So I think that's why, and because we're classy, not to say that the other groups were not, because they were. I just don't get it. Like, the Emotions, come on. In fact, we did Best of My Love in the show to pay homage to them.
Oh, you
So
did? Okay.
yeah, that was part of our. We would do an old school medley, and in that old school medley, we would do guess you wanted, babe, 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 Gladys Knight. We would give homage to
That's
her.
not okay.
Yeah, RESPCT, that was my song, and then Best of My Love, I would sing lead on that. So we would pay homage to all these former, females.
Mm-hmm.
Girl groups were definitely in there. Got to Be Real by Cheryl Lynn. No, she's not a
Right.
still. Like, wow, yeah.
Wow. Wow. So why did you choose to leave En Vogue? Like what happened with that whole situation with everything?
You just jumped right in it.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I'm just curious. I want to know.
Woo! Oh my gosh. Okay. So, and I'm sorry for those who are hearing it again for the 7,000 millionth time, but this is Kevin's show, okay? Hi, Sean. How are you? Hey, Aaliyah. Hi, Lady Marmalade. Yes, exactly. What? Patty LaBelle. Yeah, I forgot about them. They were huge. I would love to see En Vogue do a versus battle.
That would be dope.
Uh,
That would be good. That would be a
you know
good
what?
one.
It probably won't happen because I'm not going to do it.
No?
No, no.
Who's worthy to go against En Vogue, though? Who do you think? I know I'm jumping.
Um, it's not even going against. I hate because they make it seem like there's this battle.
Yeah. Well,
Like,
celebrate.
I'm singing your songs, you're singing mine, or I'm singing
Right.
my own songs and you're singing yours. That's all it is. We're just having fun. So it's not a battle. I
Right,
would say probably SWV,
Ooh,
because they had I would say the most hits after us,
true.
and vocal wise. So I'm thinking of vocals, and because TLC was a different type of group, they sold bigger than all of us, but
Mm-hmm.
they were a different type of group. But we could do that with them though. Waterfalls don't go chasing waterfalls.
That's right. Love that.
Yeah, exactly. So maybe TLC. But then they don't have Left. Well, Left Eye is a rapper too, so she didn't sing.
Yeah, rest in peace, Left Eye.
But then at SWV, I want to say they had, whoa, how many hits?
They had a
And their
couple. They had a
vocals,
lot.
I always think of harmonies
Hmm.
of who could battle us or not battle. It's not a battle. Love
Celebrate with.
Escape could do that. Yes,
Sure, I
Escape.
was gonna say that. Escape, yep.
Escape, exactly. I love Total too. That's my favorite girl group,
Mm.
actually, of all of them. I think Total, Keisha, and Pam. Oh,
Pam, oh man,
yeah.
Total. Love
Woo! That was
Total.
Missy. Missy was on that with that flow.
Oh
But
man, I love them.
oh
So
my God,
yeah.
it's so bad. I mean, love that songs. I bought that album because of that single.
Which one? Kissing You?
Oh, I forgot about Kissing You.
No,
No.
I love that song.
Um, and I'm hope you like to tell you been checking me. I know what you talk about. I've
What
been
song
sipping
is that?
on my feet.
Oh yeah, I know that song. Oh man,
Yeah,
what's the
exactly. I
name
can't
of it,
remember
man?
this.
I'm trying to like.
Baby, yeah.
What about
For
me?
real. Yeah, they're bad. I love
Yeah,
Total.
man.
That's my
Total
group.
is Total
Mm,
is nice. I love
they're
them.
so tough to me.
Yeah.
But I love Brownstone. I love Jade. I love.
Oh man, you took it back to Jade. Oh
Yes,
man.
I did. Oh my God.
Don't walk away. Oh my God.
Yes. Now they can sing too. Harmony. Okay, so in the beginning of their album, they did that harmony part. I can't think of it
Mhm.
right now. Where it's a beautiful, like, it's almost like they were doing a "Will I see you?"
Mhm.
It doesn't sound right without harmonies on it. Again, again. And then all of them would harmonize and they went up like that. I'm like, okay, y'all trying to do some En Vogue right now.
Right?
Yes, but I love Diane is my girl. I haven't talked to her in
Mhm.
so long. I should probably reach
Yeah.
out.
Yeah.
Yeah. So okay, Jade.
Jade, that'll be a good one.
Because they did that a cappella in the beginning of their album. It
True.
wasn't a single though, so people don't know it like they knew Hold On. But
Hmm.
yeah, Jade, probably Jade. I know I went
Okay.
around the block. It's like you asked me one question, I told you
Yeah.
five different groups.
Right. Let me get back to the other question I asked you before
Okay.
about the group.
Yes, about the group.
Yeah.
So En Vogue started because so my part of it was I was at an all-day concert and
Hmm.
my friend Kim and I were at the Summer Jam concert, all-day concert. Starts at like 1 o'clock in the afternoon, goes to maybe 12 midnight or later. And everybody and their mama in the 80s groups was here because this was 89. And in between acts, sometimes we would go to the restroom because they have to change the band and change all that. So it was between Stevie B and Cover Girls were leaving and coming. I don't know which one was which, but we were leaving to go to the bathroom. We were there with our two friends, Michael and Lawrence. And
Okay.
we weren't dating them, but we didn't want them to know our business. So we were like, let's go to the bathroom. Okay. But it was really code for let's go check out guys. Because it's
Okay.
like 25,000 people here. There's got to be some cute guys here. So we were like, we got up out of our section, which was a VIP section, because this year we can afford better seats. Usually, if our mothers bought the tickets, we couldn't afford it. Like they had us in the nosebleeds, and we were looking at the stage like, I think it sounds like we didn't know who it was on stage. But here we're in the VIP section. So we get up from our section, our seats, and when we got to the top of our section, this guy screamed out, yelled out. He was like, "Excuse me!" And you're talking about a bunch of people walking in between. So we turned around and looked, and he said, "Are you a model?" And I was just like, "Whatever." So we went to the bathroom. We didn't even answer him. So rude, right? So freaking rude.
Oh wow.
Yes. We actually tried to go to the restroom. The line was too long. We went and got popcorn, got a drink, came back. He was now we're facing him. So he's like, hey, I was the one who just asked you if you could sing, if you're a model. And I was like, I am not a model. I was so mean. I
Oh
am not a
wow.
model. And he said, well, can you sing? Ah! Put on the brakes. Like, what? Yes, I can sing. I actually can sing. And then I sit and talk with him for about an hour. And My friend went back to the seats. She stood there for a minute. She wasn't rude, but she went back to the seats after a while. And yeah, he was like,
Mm,
my friends are doing an audition for a group, blah, blah, blah. So that was En Vogue. That's how I got.
okay.
So my mom had asked me, he listened to me sing, first of all, because he wanted to know if I actually had talent. He was like, I am
Mm,
not going to send you to an audition if I don't know you actually can sing. So he came to my parents' house a couple of days later and heard me sing and was like, yes, you got what it takes. And then maybe a week later, the audition happened, and my mom had asked me the night before if I wanted her to take me. If she wanted me to take me, she wanted her to take me. And I said, Mom, no. I asked Dana. I had asked my best friend, but she said she had to work. So I asked my sister, and she said yes. I said, Mom, I don't want you there. I'm like, no, I don't want you. You know, come on.
mm-mm.
An audition. I don't want my mother sitting with me. So thank God, Kevin, because even at the audition, all day long, from the time we pulled up in front of the building, I could see it in my mind right now. Oh my God, we're
Mhm.
here. This is it. I was like looking at my sister because she was driving. I was like, oh my God. Okay. No, Dana, I want to go home.
Yeah.
Let's go. She's like, nope. She's taking off her seatbelt. Nope. We're going to do this. Come on. I don't want to go. And she's like, nope, Dawn, come on. So she's not having it. First of all, she's pregnant.
Right. Okay.
She's not having it. Yeah. It's like, okay, we're here. I got out of my house today. Like I got dressed. I showered. I got here. We're going to, you know what I mean? Like I could have stayed
Right.
at my feet up all day long. I didn't have to be out here with you. Let's go. So we walked, before we walked inside, we saw the engineer was standing outside, Steve. He said, hey, you here for the audition? Yes. Well, my name is Steve. He was smoking a cigarette. Nice to meet you, Steve. He said, yeah, go right in. Denny or Tommy should be right there. So as soon as now we're walking through the hallway and I feel like the Twilight Zone because it was it probably wasn't as long as my mind told me it was, but because
Right.
it seemed like forever. Oh my God,
Right.
like down there. And then also, Kevin, on either side of the walls, like you could do this because it was such a narrow hallway. So you could like literally touch each side. All
Right.
these plaques, all these gold and platinum albums. Oh my God, I want to go home. Dana was like, nope. She's right behind me. She's like pushing me a little bit. So
Right.
then he was like right there at the end of the hallway. He came stepping. I was like, hey, what's your name? And I said, Dawn. He said, okay, I'm Denny. I heard you were coming. And who's this? And I said, this is my sister Dana. And she shook his hand. And then Tommy came out. He said, okay,
Mm.
Tommy, the other producer. And Tommy said, hi, what's your name? Dawn. This is Dana. Hi, nice to meet you both, blah, blah, blah. Then they both took us into a big room, what they call the main room is usually the A room.
Okay.
And they have all the equipment in there, all the instruments. So a big grand piano, uh, oh my gosh, lighting. So if you want to do a video, all kinds of stuff was in there. Equipment. And Cindy was standing by the piano. Why did I start talking to her about her life? Because immediately I felt like, okay, I don't want to be here again.
Wow.
She
You just
said,
wanted to go.
so, hi, I'm Cindy. I said, hi, I'm Dawn. She said, nice to meet you, Dawn. Hi, Dana. Okay. Hi, Dana. And so we started talking to her, Kevin. Why? She tells us, oh yes, I tried out for Miss California. I didn't make that, but I was Miss Oakland. I won that. So she was a pageant queen, and then she said, yeah, and I used to travel overseas to Japan to do this, that, and the other with my sister. We did plays in San Francisco, and I was a child star at 12. I had a show called Up and Coming on TV, and I was just like, okay, Dana, take me home. Like, let's go. Anytime I got a chance with her and when nobody was listening, I was like, let's go. No, we're not. My sister was like, she wasn't having it. So then Maxine came in, and her roommate had gone to the audition without her that day, or was leaving the house
Mm.
to go to the audition, and didn't tell Maxine about it. So
Wow.
Maxine got a call. Yeah, right.
Mm.
Her name is Jordana, and Maxine showed up first. Jordana wasn't there right away, but maybe about 20 minutes after Maxine, Jordana shows up. But when I was looking at Maxine, I was like, okay, I know you from somewhere. Both of us shook hands, and we were like, okay, you look familiar. And I was like, yeah, you too. And then after a while, we were like, okay. She said, I worked at a hair salon. I was braiding hair. Did you ever get your hair braided? And I said, no, but what salon was it? And she said, this salon on 14th Street in Oakland. I was like, oh my gosh, I went there. I got my hair done. I
Right.
think we met there. And she said, oh, wow. She said, Jeffrey owns it? And I said, yes, he owns the salon. And come to find out, he had us sing something together. And so that's how we met first. She heard us, but she had never met her before. So now she was standing there like, okay, that's Cindy Heron. Like, that's Cindy Heron. And I was like, I don't know her, but okay. So Maxine was intimidated too, but she wasn't saying, let's go, let's leave.
Right.
I was the one saying that. So Jordana finally showed up. And she was like, okay, Max, like, I didn't expect you to be here because I didn't tell you to come here.
Right.
But Maxine found out because God wanted Maxine in that group. It wasn't up to Jordana. You know what I mean? So even though Jordana was kind of played her and didn't tell her about the audition, Maxine found out about it on her own. And that was like beautiful.
Wow.
Yeah, exactly. Because it was meant to be for Maxine to be in this group too.
True.
So, and lo and behold, Jordana didn't make the group. At about 8
Oh, she
o'clock, we were
didn't.
waiting for Terry to get there. She was supposed to be there with us at 1. And Terry kept having bad weather out of Houston, so she wasn't able to leave and get here. So Denny showed us the song, showed us the parts, because he's not a real singer, so he kind of, that's how he sings, and we would have to like, huh? What? Because he would just kind of whimper through the songs, and we would kind of have to figure out the note. I think he's singing this, and I think he's saying that. Like he was terrible at that. And he would pick on the piano what notes he wants us to sing. And ding, 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 that's Terry, that's your note. Ding, 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 Maxine, that's your note. Ding, 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 Terry, Cindy, Dawn, whoever. You know what I mean? He would do it like that. So when Jordana, about 3 hours after we got there, we put down the background parts. After we sang them for Waiting on You, a song called Waiting on You on the Born to Sing album. And Jordana, so what's up? Y'all don't have no beer? Like, y'all ain't gonna feed us? I was looking at her, Kevin, like,
wow.
Okay, she's not making the group.
Uh-oh, that was ghetto.
Very ghetto, like real hood, exactly. I'm like, oh my God, I hope she's not in the group because she's like, whoa, straight up Oakland. She ended up nice. Like we had fun with her, but she was real. That was a bold move because you don't come to the studio, especially for an audition, and expect to get fed.
True.
You go out and get your own food, or you bring it with you. Okay, and so about 8 o'clock, Jenny was like, okay. He turned around because he was sitting at the board, and we had a couch we were sitting on a couch behind him at the studio. So he was sitting in front of the board, and he finally says, because we were laughing and talking, we should have been learning that song. We were laughing and talking, and he said, okay, so who's going to go first?
Uh-oh.
Yeah. I looked at my sister, and I kept telling her, David, let's just go. Can we please leave? When are we leaving? Like, let's go. And she's like, nope, no. Now she's tired of me. Now she's sick of it. Max, sit down. Sit down. Hold on, Kevin. I'm sorry, y'all. Hold on.
That's cool. Do your thing.
Sit. Lay down. Sorry, Kevin. I'm here.
It's okay. I'm here.
Yeah, he's trying to get out. My dog. So, Denise. Oh, let me show you my T-shirt. It says,
What it says?
"You see a girl, I see the future."
I love it, Dawn. I love it.
Isn't that hot? Like what?
I love it.
Women are the future, man.
Yes.
We are.
Yes, we definitely are.
Yes, we are. Thank you. So, yeah. So he says, okay, so who's gonna go first? And Maxine put her hand up right away. Me. She wanted to get it over with. I was like, you are brave. You're or either crazy. She went in the room. She sang. Now there were sliding glass doors. You could see right through them into the studio. They didn't have they had a partition up, and then you're supposed to go behind the partition, put the headphones on, and the lyrics were there. Now, he just showed us how the song went that day.
Right.
He just taught us the song that day. So that means that we don't have it ingrained in our spirit. It's not by heart that we know the words and we can just close our eyes and sing, waiting on you. We didn't know that. We didn't know that song. So, Maxine, I was like, wow. Okay, I'm really going home now. I just kept telling me, I'm done. Like, Maxine, I'm not brave like that. Like, oh my God. She went in and she killed it. Her first time was not that great because she was nervous. But then the second time around, she was better. And then the third time was even better. Oh my God, I want to go home.
Mm.
So when she came back in, we're like, oh my God, you are amazing. Dana, take me home. You know, I'm still saying that to my sister. My sister blew
Mm.
me up right then. She's like, Dawn, no, I'm not.
No.
Oh, yeah, oh, yeah. No, she gave to me.
Wow.
Younger than me, but she had my head on
In
a
front of everybody?
in front of the room. Yes,
Oh,
Kevin, I'm telling
wow.
you. You've been telling me all day that long that you want to leave and you're good and you can sing too. And you can stay here and do this audition. Okay. All right. Now, the reason that I'm glad that my mom didn't take me is because if my mom was there, she definitely would have taken me home. Because she wouldn't have
Mm.
wanted me to be nervous. She would have wanted to protect me as her daughter.
Right.
Yeah. So Dana was not having it. And so Denny turns to me and he says, okay, Dawn, you're next. Okay, you gave Maxine a chance. You gave her a choice. Why aren't you giving me a choice? And he said, because if I give you a choice, you're going to say no. You're not going to volunteer. And he was right.
Mm.
I would have waited all week long, a week, before I actually did the audition. If I had a chance to, I would have waited and waited and waited and because he knew that. So that's
Mm-hmm.
why he was like, yeah, you're going to go next. And I was like, oh my God. So I got up, I went in, I put the headphones on, I went behind the partition. I said it's just a quick prayer, like, oh my God, Father, please, 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 just be with me. And okay, I put the headphones on and I'm reading through the lyrics again real quick. And I'm like, oh my God, I don't know this song. He's like, okay, Dawn. So the overhead in the studio, you could hear speakers. There were speakers.
Right.
And he said, Dawn, are you ready? And I said, I think so. So I started, I did it, I bombed. It was terrible. My first one was like, what a joke.
What
So
song did you sing?
Waiting on You.
Waiting on You? Okay, okay,
Exactly. Waiting on You is on the Born to Sing album. Yeah.
okay.
So he said, yeah, that's okay. You did good, but I think you could do better. I think you got another one in. So I did it again. We only had 3
Mm.
tries, mind you. I did again, and he said, oh, it's better. That's better, but I think you can do better. I think you can do better. So he said, but hold on, your sister wants to come in there. What? Oh my God. Why?
Wow.
Yeah, exactly. Like, what does she want? I'm thinking, oh my God. So she gets in there and I hear the sliding glass door. I step out of the partition and I'm looking at her like, what? What, Dana? What? What do you want? She said, Dawn, she's walking big and pregnant. You can do this. You know, you're better than this. And I know that you're nervous and all this stuff, but you need to put the lyrics to the side. I said, Dana, we're arguing like we're 12-year-olds. You
Mm.
know, like we're at home in our mother's house. And I was like, Dana, if you don't leave, I got this. She's like, no, I'm going to tell mom. If you don't do this right, however she put it, like, you're never going to hear the last of this or whatever. I'm like, Dana, I got this. Just leave, please. Because I'm knowing that he can hear me over the speakers.
Right.
And if he can hear me, everybody in that room out there can hear. So she said, just put the lyrics aside. Don't worry about the lyrics. I said, Dana, I don't know the song by heart. I'm not good with coming up with lyrics like that. Like, the background parts were specific to what I have to sing. I can't make up lyrics, you know? And so she's like, yes, you can. Just do it. So just right then, Denny said, yeah, Dawn, Dana's right. Put the lyrics on the side. I was like, oh my God, he can hear us. Oh my God, I'm so embarrassed. So
Oh, wow.
yeah, so I went back behind the partition. I thought my sister left, but I didn't watch her. So I thought she left. I heard the door open and close.
Mm-hmm.
And then Denny said, are you ready? I went back behind the partition. I put on my headphones. I was like, I think so. I think, yeah, I'm ready. Looking at the lyrics again real quick, and then I put them on the side. I closed my eyes, and when the song started, it's 10 o'clock, and I'm still waiting by the phone. Shoo-doo-doo, shoo-doo. Our background parts were on there. Won't be back again, feeling so intense. Oh, baby, I can't keep wasting my time waiting on you to come home. And I'm making up words, and I'm like, oh my God. So I was gonna grab the paper, I remember, and I said, nope, no, because if I do that, I'll be reading again. And you can't emanate feeling when you're reading.
Mm.
I fantasize of being, you know, you can't do that. So I just was like, oh my God. And I can hear it. They actually put so when I was done, Denny was like, "Oh my God!" You know, you can hear everybody on my headphones. You can hear everybody clapping in the room, and I was like,
They
"Okay, I
loved
must
it.
have did good." And when I stepped out, he said, "Come on in." And when I stepped out, I put my headphones on the thing. And when I stepped out, my sister was standing right there. And she grabbed me. She was like, "Dawn!" She was in the room with me the whole time. The whole time.
Wow.
She never left. And she heard the whole thing. So
She believed in you.
she believed in me, Kevin. She did.
Definitely
She
love
really
it.
believed in me. And I was like, "Dana, are you sure I did good? I messed up on those words because I didn't know the part." And I did. She's like, "Dawn, you did amazing." So we walked out and the whole room erupted. Maxine was like, "Dawn, you said that you were nervous and you couldn't do this and you lied and you were this." And Cindy was like, "I'm not singing after her." I'm not going after her. She's good. I'm not. But Cindy did great too, and so did Jordana. And then about 11 p.m., they gave us dinner at about, I think, 9, like right
Hmm.
after the audition. And then at about 9, they gave us some more food.
Hmm.
And then Terry got there at about 11, maybe even 10 we ate. And then Terry got there at 11. She, as much as she could do, poor thing, she didn't know the song like we did because we had all day to
No.
learn. Even, I should say, we had half the day to learn the song. You know,
Okay.
we all got there at 1, started working on the song about 3, and then the audition, here we are at 8. So, yeah, we had a lot more time than she did. And it wasn't fair, but she had, as much as she could do, she was still pretty good. But they ended up picking my version of the audition for the album. So wait,
Okay.
no, yeah, my version of it. I'm so proud, man. That is
Love
like,
it, man.
when you know that there's God moments in your life. That's one of them for me.
That's definitely one. I would love to see it. Like somebody said, they would love to see a movie, with, En
Oh
Vogue,
yeah, heck yeah. Well, there will be, but I'm doing it. I'll do the movie because I'm the only
Okay,
one who will
okay.
tell the truth about everything. Yeah, I'm telling you.
Right. So, why did you leave the group? Why did you choose to step away from En Vogue?
I chose to step away because there was so much drama that led to me.
Okay.
So here we are. We had already recorded 3 albums under the same deal as the first album. In other words, we did Born to Sing and we had a certain deal. And then we went in the studio and we started recording Funky Divas under the same deal as Born to Sing. That is unheard
Oh,
of.
okay.
At that point, yes, we had already sold millions of records. So I wasn't having it. And I started asking questions. And Maxine and I would do these powwow conversations. Like, we'd be on the phone and I'm like, "Max, we got to get Cindy and Terry. We got to tell them that we got to renegotiate." "Yeah, Dawn, you're absolutely right. We got to do something because it just wasn't right." We knew that there was something going on and we didn't know what. We had already sold like millions of records on the first album, but we're still making the same amount of money, 2 pennies a record. What is,
Right.
yeah, so we were like, "No, we have to do something." And we finally got on the same page. And then we did Runaway Love album. So that was one new single, Runaway Love, and then remix on all the old songs that we had. So all the
Yeah,
hits.
I remember that. Hmm.
Yeah, exactly. So here we are. And then we did Don't Let Go
That's off the Set It Off. It
off
was
the
on the Set It Off one
soundtrack.
soundtrack, right?
That was our
Hmm.
biggest. Where's the freaking money? Like, why aren't we getting paid? What's up? Like, what the fuck?
Right.
I understand this. It's not
Right.
cool.
That's my favorite En Vogue song, by the way.
Is it
Yeah.
really? Yay.
Yeah,
It's
it
our
is.
favorite. Yes. Thank you, Kevin.
Mhm. No problem.
So now we're like, we were global before, but now we are, oh my God. If there's life on other planets, we are known on other planets. And yeah, we still making the same amount of money. Like, there's a problem here. And I'm watching our producer buy a mansion. Denny bought a mansion. And I was like, what the hell? He's showing us his 11 bedrooms and 9 bathrooms or something crazy like that.
Wow.
It was a lot. Like, you know, 9 bedrooms, 7 bathrooms, so a lot of shit. He had a huge mansion. And then our choreographer showing us his mansion. And I'm like, okay, what the hell? This is our choreographer. Not to say that he shouldn't have had it. Again, Denny should have had
Hmm.
a mansion. He deserved it. He worked hard. Tommy should have had one. Our manager should have had one. Our choreographer should have had one. But we also should have had one. And that was my problem. I was like, where's ours? Like, why aren't we getting paid as well as we should be?
And y'all
And
had all the fame and everything, and y'all
all the
wasn't
fame. Oh,
no
we were
money.
huge. There's no way that Denny could have bought a mansion if we weren't famous.
Exactly. Hmm.
Yeah, so that's why they had those things, because of our hard work. So, and I'm like, we're working hard for other people. Like, I don't get this shit. That doesn't make any sense to me. So I just started asking questions, and Maxine and I would probably be on the phone the most to talk about those things. Terry was dating our producer, so she wasn't even involved. She was all up in love, and we thought it was adorable, but I didn't think it was adorable that she wasn't doing business with us and having our back as a group. You know what I mean? It's like
Right.
that. Yeah, that should have been her priority, should have been us. And it wasn't.
Mm.
So here we are getting ready to go in and do our fourth album. I said, enough. I can't. No more. No more. We're not seeing the kind of money that we deserve. We're not getting brand new cars. Even if it was just a used brand new car, I was rolling around still in a Ford Fiesta with an oil leak. Like,
Wow.
old ass car. But then he was rolling around in a brand new Porsche. Every year he would lease a new Porsche. There's a
Are you
problem.
are
Like,
you kidding me?
yes. I was like, dude, I don't get it. Not again. You should have a Porsche. But so the fuck should I. So the hell should Terry and Cindy and Maxine. We should all
Hell
have
yeah. Hell yeah.
whatever car we wanted. Yeah. So I just thought of something else too. But yeah, so we didn't have that, and I was pissed off. So I was like, Maxine, I'm not going in the studio to sing anything else. We finally got Cindy and Terry on the phone. We agreed as a group that we were gonna not go in the studio to sing anything until they renegotiated a contract. So the four
Okay.
of us stood down. We were like, nope, we're not doing anything new until they pay us our money. Next thing we
Mm.
know, Maxine called me and was like, Dawn, Terry's in the studio. What do you mean? She's in this. We agreed that we weren't going to go. What? She's working on something on her own, you mean? She said, no, she's in the studio with our producers, Denny and Tommy, and
Right.
she's on her album. And that's when I got like, whoa, we got to get sis. So we got Cindy on the phone, and we called Terry at the studio. Why are you there? What are you doing? What is up? What we agreed that we weren't going to do that. Why are you at the studio? Oh, well, I don't agree with you guys and what you want to do, and y'all just go ahead and make decisions without me, and I don't agree with you guys. Okay, but we can work this out. Like, you don't need to be in the studio. We were all trying to like talk to her. Like, we made an agreement. We're getting 2 pennies a record, Terry. Like, right now, that's not cool.
Wow.
And we've been getting that from day one. So how can you be okay with that? Like, I couldn't understand it. Maxine couldn't either. And she's like, well, you guys just go on without me and you do whatever you want to do. So now we don't have the power of the 4 of us because there's strength in numbers. We signed as 4 girls. We didn't sign as 3.
Mm-hmm.
So if we go to the record company and say to them, well, and this is what I think in hindsight, I think now we should have gone to the record company and said, look, you guys signed Terry by herself. That's a breach
Mm-hmm.
of contract, first of all. And Terry, we're going to sue you. We wouldn't have gotten anything. We didn't have nothing to get. But yeah, it was just crazy. It was really bad. And we should have
Wow.
record company because they knew that we were trying to renegotiate. That's why they did that. It was divide and conquer.
Mm.
We got Terry over here. The 3 of them can't do anything without Terry.
True.
So it's trickery. They did that shit
Mm.
on. Yeah.
Wow. So you're not in contact with anybody, Maxine, any of them? No.
No. No.
Damn. Damn.
I say it like this. Do you talk to the people that you had your first job with?
Nah.
You talk to them? No. So no, I'm not. Just because we made music together doesn't mean we're all friends. I think people assume that with groups, you're
Mm.
buddy. You know what I mean? Everybody's like, Ace Spoon Coon, you're my goddaughter. I'm the goddaughter
Mm.
to your son, and you're my family. And it's not like that. It should have been that. It could have been that. It was like that at first. Terry and I were probably the closest because we're the youngest. And
Okay.
Cindy didn't mess with anybody, so Maxine liked being her roommate because she was quiet.
Mm.
And she did her own thing. She's aloof. So Cindy's over here like this, and she's doing her own thing. And Maxine's like, good, because I need quiet. And I was like, Maxine, you're such a mean spirited woman. Like, what are you so angry about? We are in one of the biggest groups in the world. You should be so happy.
Right?
Oh my God, you're so serious all the time. And you
Yeah.
would swear she was like a 40-year-old woman. Like, she's an
Mm.
old Well, she's old soul. And we would call her, so each of us had a name. We would call Cindy the butter girl because she talks like this and she's very nasal and everything's very prim.
I love the impressions. Yeah.
I do her all the time. And so she's very like Dawn and Cindy and Terry. And she's very anal. So everything, if I open a bag of chips, and I swear to you, it could be a big bag of Lay's, mesquite, hot, spicy, or whatever, and she will eat one chip. She'll take it out. I'm good. I don't need any more. Nope. And she's like, she can do that. Not go back to that bag at all. She can eat just one. Like on the bag of Lay's, it says, I bet you can't eat just one. She can eat and walk away because she's like, nope, I got to watch my figure. I got to watch. No. We're like, Cindy, you're so good at that. Oh my gosh, she's good. And the rest, I'll eat the whole bag. So y'all want some? Because if y'all don't want any, I'm going to finish it. That's me. And then Terry we would call the nun because she was dressed from head to toe. She would show any skin. She would be, her shirt would be up to here. Because she didn't want to show no skin. Terry was like, no T and A, no T, no A, no nothing. She barely showed her arms. Oh my God, Terry's very covered up. So we would call her the nun, Cindy the butter girl, like the girl next door, all American. We call, and her mother's white too. So, and then we would call Maxine was the hippie, because Maxine would smoke her weed. She didn't want to be bothered with nobody, chill out. Like y'all are too damn silly. Terry and Maxine, y'all need to be quiet. I'm like, we're on a freaking tour bus. We're the biggest things on the planet, #1 around the world, and you're telling us to be quiet? No. And so they call me feisty because I am fiery and I stand up to anybody. Like, no, we're not going to be quiet, Maxine. You go back in the lounge. Go get in your bunk or something. Like, no. Play music and we have fun.
Okay.
So she would have fun with us because there's clips even of us on the bus, but it was rare. And me and Terry were damn silly for her. She didn't want to room with us in the hotel because we were too silly. Cindy was quiet. Like I said, yeah, Cindy, you and I.
Okay.
Yeah, but so we called Terry on it. Why was she in the studio? And we couldn't do anything without her. So 7 months later, she was getting ready to go on the road, and we supported her show. We went to the Pantages to see her in concert. Support, like Cindy, Maxine, and I were there. They gave the record company, our record company, gave her a budget to go on the road and everything. They put her album out. She had 2 singles. Wherever You Are was her first single, and I think What Did I Do to You was her second single. And then the record company calls me and says, Dawn, you want to do a album as well? You want to do a solo album? Well, yeah, because I'm getting ready to lose my house if I don't. Cindy and Maxine and I couldn't decide on what we wanted to do. Cindy could sit a lot longer and wait and kind of figure things out with time because her husband was playing for the Cincinnati Reds. So she wasn't desperate for anything. You know what I mean? She wasn't, you know what I mean? She had a little bit of a cushion, and Maxine and I did not. So it was like, yeah, I want to do a solo album, sure. So I regret to this day that I didn't tell Maxine and Cindy that I was doing that. Because that was, I did the same thing that Terry did to us. I did to Cindy and Terry, because Cindy and Maxine, because I felt like they didn't hold Terry accountable. Why should I be held accountable?
Gotcha.
So Terry did her thing. I'm going to go do my thing. But that was very childish. Very. Yeah, I admit it. You don't have to say it, Kevin. I already know.
No. I know. So let's talk about Lucy Pearl now. I'm trying to like.
Okay.
How did that come about with Raphael Sadiq, Ali Shaheed?
Oh my gosh, that's my project right there. Oh my God, that's my album. Raphael contacted my old manager, and she told him at the time she had some deals on the table for me with Virgin Records and RCA, and Jameson at RCA, and so she told him, well, you know, sounds like a good idea, but Dawn is busy. We're getting ready to sign a solo deal for her, so no, that's not a good deal. And she told him no before she actually called me and said, hey, Dawn, Raphael was on the phone. He wants to know if you want to do this idea that he has. Like, she made a decision for me without me being involved. And her and I had already had it out with each other because we would go toe to toe battling, and because she tried to treat me like I was 17. And I didn't know what I
Right.
was doing. And I hadn't been in the business, in the game, as long as I had. And I was like, wait a minute, Cassandra. Like, now, this is where you and I have to part ways. This is where I have to tell you goodbye. Sorry, I'm trying to make sure I have enough light.
Let's go.
So, yeah, so I had to let her go. And that was that for her and I. And I called Raphael, and I was like, Raphael, what is up? Because we've known each other since we were 16 years old. I used to play, he
Okay.
used to play in my
Okay.
band. Yeah.
And he's from the Bay Area too, right?
He's from the Bay. Yes, he is.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. So, yeah, so I called him and I was like, what is up? And he said, well, your manager said no. I thought it was weird because she hadn't even talked to you yet. She told me no, like right when I asked her. She didn't even say, well, let me get back to you. Let me call Dawn. And, it was none of this. So I was like, what is this idea? And he said, well, the group, I don't have a name yet, but it's a group idea. I got Ali Shaheed Muhammad from Tribe Called Quest. I was like, yes, yes, and yes. So that's how I got in Lucy Pro. That's how we put it all together. And then I was working with some guys and a girl named Monet. Some guys named Jake and the Fat Man, Bobby and Glenn were their real names.
Okay.
And they really put the production on the album. Raphael would just play over like these break beats by the meters, and then the next day we would come in and they would have the makings of Don't Mess With My Man, or I Can't Stand Your Mother, or La La La. Like, they just put that album together. So I got to give them the credit because they did most of the work. They really did.
Wow.
Yeah.
Are you going to do a biographical book, though?
One more time?
I said, are you going to do an autobiographical book?
Yes, I'm working. Yeah, I'm working on my book now. Yes, I am. Absolutely.
Yes, I can't.
And it's not
I can't
in the sense of, oh, Dawn's telling, dropping tea and all that stupid shit. I don't do that. I don't have to.
Was the Luther? Let me go back to the En Vogue. Was the Luther stories true? Like, I was.
Yes, it was true.
No, for real.
Oh yeah, no, he didn't play. We said, this is the thing. You can go back and look at the cover of En Vogue. I don't know what year that was. That tour had to happen in 94, maybe 93, 94. Something in there. So you can just go back and look in the archives of Vibe magazine and read the whole article. Yes, we said it then. We were calling him Loretta, because he was such a diva. Oh yeah.
Oh wow, that's crazy.
Yep.
Man.
He was just a stickler. He was right about what he was saying, but to us, he could have, because we just kept telling him, is it okay if we put our band in the pit because we're getting bad write-ups with our band being on the stage with us. Fans can't see around our drummer. They can't see around our guitar player or our bass player. They can't see us that way. So is it possible that we could? And he said, nope. You sign a contract. You're gonna wear red. You can't wear red, white, blue, or black. Those are the main colors in the. He was really a stickler, and that was what we were like. Okay, you're absolutely right. We signed a contract. Okay, Luther, but you don't have to be such a hard ass.
Right. Got you.
I didn't mean that in a very in a derogatory way, but he was just being mean, and we thought, come on, let your guard down a little bit. But he was like, y'all's manager got you on this tour, because he had a meeting with us in midway through the tour, because we were like, we're not going to listen to you. We got a budget from our record company, and we bought some clothes, and because he didn't want us to wear anything that had sparkle and shine and picked up light, because it was the lighting. The lighting was beautiful, and he didn't want that. And we signed that contract. Oh, yeah. So he was holding us to our contract. He was right. But we were like, can't you just give a little? Can't you just, bend a little bit? And he was being really, hard on us. So we went and bought some new clothes, and he was like, no, y'all got to go. So maybe about a month after that, Cindy was like, okay, I am 8 months pregnant now. I want to go home. Right. And rightfully so. She was 8 months pregnant. She was 6 months when we started the tour. She was like, no, I'm ready to go. Yeah. We shouldn't have been on the road any. See, again, we were so freaking broke that we had to take a Luther Vandross tour like that. There's no way that an artist like En Vogue should have to sign a contract to wear all these colors that we can't wear.
True.
We were all about fashion, and now we can't wear red, black, white, or blue. So what is it? Yellow, brown, orange? We can wear those colors, green? Like
Mm.
who else, you know what I mean? It was just bad. And
Wow.
that we can't put our band in the stage in the pit. We have to have them on stage with us. That's some bullshit.
Yeah, it
You
is.
know what I mean? It really was. So that's why I say that. But because we didn't have the proper management to
Mm.
make sure that we were making money off of our millions that were being sold, here we are having to take a tour like that. Like Cindy should have been home. We
True.
should have never gotten on the road. We should have waited till Cindy had her baby, and then when she's ready, get on the road. You know? Yeah.
True. True. True.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just had to ask that. Somebody in the comments asked that. Shout out to Shorty Doo Wop in the comments. And
Oh, hey, Shorty.
yeah,
Hi, Shorty. I see him now. He said he was wild.
he was.
Luther was wild. He was a genius, though, because every night we would watch
Yeah.
his show like it was the first time. Every
Rest in
single
peace.
night we would watch him. He was
Rest in
genius.
peace.
Yeah,
Right.
one of the
What do you
best.
think? Yeah. What do you think about the current state of R&B today? Anybody that you're feeling out here right now? Any newer artists?
I can't really tell you who's out there. I just know the singles. I don't really pay attention. I think because MTV died, VH1 is kind of dying. You know, radio isn't what it used to be either.
True.
I gotta say, I love Justin Bieber. I love Justin Timberlake too. I think they're dope. I really think their music is great to a certain
Oh,
point. But there's
okay.
kiddie songs like Yum Yum or Yummy by,
Yummy.
yeah. I mean, I would never buy that, but I'm humming along when I hear it.
True.
I
True.
love SZA. I love,
Love Scissor.
yeah, I think she's dope. I love Jasmine Sullivan is the truth.
Oh yeah, her new album is crazy. Her new
I
EP is
haven't
crazy.
heard it. I'm just scared to listen. She's so incredible.
Yeah, she is. Her voice is
Yeah,
amazing.
she's
Hmm.
insane. And I love Lettucey. Lettucey's my girl.
Yes, I love her too.
She hit me up on, what was it? I think Facebook when I first got my Facebook page, and I was like, oh my God, you don't understand. She said, no, you don't understand. I love y'all. Because she's from the Bay Area too. So,
Mm.
Oakland Bay Area. So she was giving me
Oh,
love, and I
okay.
was like, whoa, okay, Lettucey, you're the truth. Um, I love Guapale. She's from the Bay Area. Um,
Hmm.
you know, but she's not out now. So for the artists that are out now, I love when I hear their songs. Like I love Billie Eilish. She's distinctive.
So,
Da 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 da. I can't tell you the words. I don't know. I'm a bad boy or something like that. Da da. I
mm,
know. Da 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 da. I love her. Um, who else? There's no real girl groups out right now, and there's
no, no,
no
no,
there's no guy groups. So
no.
I'm coming up with my own group called Glam. And
Glam. Okay. Okay.
yeah, I want Glam to sing harmonies like En Vogue. I want their voices to be just as meshed together as ours were.
Oh yeah.
Are, yeah. And I want them to dress like LaBelle back in the day.
Oh wow. Okay.
With the wings and the silver and the big boots and the whole Kiss look. I want them to have
Nice.
that whole glam look. That's where that name comes from. And I want them
Nice.
to play instruments like Climax. Joyce
Right.
is my friend. We are friends on Facebook and on Instagram actually. And she and I talked about it before. I was like, Joyce, I want them to play instruments like you guys. Because to me, you can be more creative when you can do your own thing, your own music. You don't have a producer telling you what to do.
True.
Yeah, so I want them to play. I want them to be self-sufficient. Even on the road, you don't need to get a band. So that saves you more money because you don't have to pay extra people. You are the
True.
people. You are the
True.
band. Yeah. And you can
True.
sing background for yourselves.
Okay. Okay. What advice would you give to somebody wanting to pursue music like you?
Music like me. Let me turn this on. I think this is going to be too bright. What advice would I give someone who wants to do music like me? Well, you know what? There is a plethora of information now that was not there, did not exist when we came out. There were
True.
only of books about the music business, and they were all over your head. They were all, my mother bought me a book. I was 16, and she bought me a book called This Business of Music, and it was like this. It's this thick. It was like, oh my. The first 3 pages, I was like, Mom, I don't get it. I really just get it. You know, it was like so confusing. But now there's a bunch of books, and there's a bunch of stuff online. You can literally look up mechanical royalties and what does that mean in a contract with a major label. You can define it. You know, if you're doing an independent label of your own, how does mechanical royalties work? And you can look up also how mechanical royalties work in a major label.
Okay.
What their share is, what their cut is, what the points are for them, what the percentages are for them, what the percentages are for yourself, how it works, how to sign a production deal with a producer and have them as the middleman, or how to sign directly to a label yourself without the middleman, how to do a record deal without using a record company to do it, how to put your music out directly to the fans on your own. That to me is dope as dope. Like, that's so incredible. Yeah, you need anybody now. You need musicians, and even now, like, you can put together tracks on your own. Like, it's amazing.
Right.
So that's what I would tell artists today, is to look this stuff up. If you have a contract from a major, especially, look this stuff up, research this whole thing backwards and forwards until you understand for yourself exactly what you're reading. Don't take nobody's word for it, and make sure you go over it with a fine-tooth comb. Then when you sit in your meeting and you're talking to them, you're like, well, so right here in paragraph B, page 6, come on, you can talk to them and tell them what you want and what you want to change. I don't like to take that out. Now, when you're starting out as a new artist, you're not going to get everything you want up front with a major label.
Right.
You have to prove yourself worthy of coming in and saying, this is what I want. You can't just come in like that.
Right.
Once you're successful, then you go back in and you're like, okay, I have leverage.
Right.
Yeah, now I want whatever you want, whatever it is. Now you can ask for whatever.
Right.
And I would tell them also, if you're a group, keep the communication open, please. Cindy, Terry, Maxine didn't talk to me. Terry didn't talk to us at first.
Oh, she didn't? Wow.
And then I didn't talk to them. And then we didn't talk to each other. You know what I mean? There was no, Terry, okay, you're dating Denny. That's cool. But you got to make sure that you keep your business with us. You know, you're over here with him. You need to keep your business with us. That's where you need to be, over here with us three. That's En Vogue. So that I regret not talking, and our communication was down. Not cool. She was doing her own thing and wasn't talking to us at all.
Okay. That's cool. Well, it was a pleasure, Dawn. One more question. When it's all said and done, what would you want your legacy to be?
My legacy, that I stood the fuck up for everything that meant something to me. That I was never back down. And even when I was afraid, because I was afraid, of course. I was scared to leave En Vogue. I could have stayed and did it their way, but I said, you know what? If I'm going to be broke, and I've been broke for 8 years now, as big as En Vogue is, and fuck them. I can do this on my own.
Yeah.
That's real.
Yeah, it's like that, Dawn?
It would. Wouldn't it be like that for you? If you see the record company making millions off of you?
I feel you.
Come on. So yes, it was like that very much for me. If you guys are going to kick me out of this group because I'm standing up for us, then fuck everybody. Yes, it was just like that. Exactly like that. Because I was trying to speak for all of us. I was never trying to be a diva. I never wanted to just go off on my own. I was saying, Terry's in the studio. We need to get more money for what we deserve to get paid. Just the way our producer who has the mansion is getting paid. Just the way our choreographer. This is the thing.
Wow.
Don't start it. Our choreographer has a mansion. I understand that our producer has a mansion, but our choreographer, like, really? There's a problem. I got a problem with that. Because it shouldn't be someone, it's not to say that he's less than us, but as a choreographer, you're not supposed to be the next in line to get a mansion.
Right.
It should be Terry, Cindy, Dawn, or Maxine. Not our choreographer. You got a mansion, and our manager doesn't even have a mansion. You're just a choreographer. So yes, I have a huge problem with it. It was just like that. you kick somebody out of the group because I spoke up for us. I wasn't being a prima donna. I wasn't being a diva. I wasn't being messy. I wasn't late to, well, I was late all the time, but I wasn't like, Dawn's not showing up to the studio, or, you know, and again, they kicked me out of the group for doing a solo album. Terry did
Wow.
an album first, and they kept her ass. But
Mm,
here they are kicking me out of the group. So yes, it's very much like, fuck them. Yeah.
right. I just saw something in the comments.
Yes.
I want to say rest in peace, Cicely Tyson. But I say she just
Why you
passed
guys
away.
on the interview, y'all? Come on,
Oh,
Tanya.
whoa. Rest in peace,
I know
Clyde.
she didn't do
Wow.
anything by it, but come on, y'all.
Yeah.
Bless her.
Yeah. Bless her.
Oh, you took me down right now,
Yeah,
man.
I'm sorry.
Not you,
I'm
it's them. They put it in the comments. You wouldn't have seen it had they.
oh man.
Ah.
But
And
yeah,
she lived a great life. She was one of our own, one of our best. So
definitely.
yeah.
Definitely.
Anyway, Kevin, thank you so much for having me.
No problem. I appreciate having you. You know, it was an honor for you to come on the podcast and
Thank you.
share your stories. And thank you for being so transparent with me.
I'm always transparent. I got a big mouth like that, but yeah, I can't be anything other than myself. And you know, to have lived as big a life as we lived and had all that success and not make that money, that's what pisses me off, and that's what brings me back to the anger that you just saw. So yeah, thank you very much again. You take care, and we'll talk soon.
Yes, we will. Thank
Yeah,
you, Dawn.
you're
Talk
welcome.
later. All right. Bye.